Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So 21-year-old California resident Hunter Ehmke was actually taken into custody on January 6th because an officer saw him standing on a window ledge and he was kicking and punching in Capitol windows with his feet and his fists. So the officer knocked him off the ledge, and this was with his riot shield. And then a group of officers formed a human barrier between the broken windows and the mob as Ehmke was being handcuffed. However, the officers were quickly swarmed by the insurrectionists. And so the officers were forced to release Ehmke because they realized they were completely outnumbered. And the officers reported that there was a man in the mob who pointed at them and yelled, quote, "You're not leaving with him." And they said that they were, surrounded by this aggressive, very agitated group. So fortunately, they were able to take a photo of Ehmke, and then they also got his driver's license, and they told him to expect an arrest warrant, but they did release him. So this whole thing was caught on video, and Ehmke was arrested for a second time on January 13th. And then he was later indicted on charges of destruction of government property, obstructing an official proceeding, disorderly conduct in a Capitol building, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol building. So Ehmke pleaded guilty exactly 1 year to the date of his arrest, and he pleaded to the destruction of government property charge. And due to the replacement cost of the windows, he was looking at a sentence of up to 10 years in prison, up to 3 years of probation, and up to $25,000 in fines. However, for some ridiculous reason, prosecutors were only requesting 4 months in jail and 3 years of probation. And Ehmke's attorney asked for a sentence of probation only, which they all do. But at the sentencing hearing, Ehmke's mother spoke, and people who were there said that she became emotional as she told the judge that what he did on January 6th was due to a previously undiagnosed medical condition. And she said, quote, "All the nights I've struggled with why and how he was at the Capitol, we have finally figured out and have him in treatment and therapy with the proper diagnosis. It is nothing short of answered prayers." And his mother also said that she was concerned that time in jail would result in a, quote, setback, because she said that he's, making an effort to try to turn his life around. She said he's taking a full load in community college, for a full course load. She said he's also working for the family business. He's volunteering at a local food pantry. So that sounds all great. And as a mom, I really felt for her. But then she proceeds to downplay Ehmke's culpability by saying that, quote, "Hunter has shared with me he did not know what was going on in the Capitol that day. He didn't hear anything about votes being counted or the election being certified. He was watching and observing the crowd as he always does." And she said that when she saw him on the ledge of the Capitol window, she saw the video of it, and he's literally up there punching and kicking the windows. She said she saw, quote, "a scared person up there looking around, not really understanding what's going on." And she lost me. I've seen that video. I've seen that video multiple times, and I think she's full of shit. Luckily, U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkin presided over this case. She's been one of the toughest January 6th judges so far, and she threw the bullshit flag on this. She said, quote, "I saw the video. I disagree with the defense's characterization of Mr. Ehmke as a follower. He was not. He was a leader in his own small way. Mrs. Ehmke's remarks today are born out of love and an effort to help me better understand her son. But I see that as yet another effort to insulate and protect Mr. Ehmke from the consequences of his actions. I am not doing that. The judge went on to say that the Ehmke family was very loving, but she said, quote, consistently since childhood shielded him from the consequences and results of his actions. When school wasn't working out, they put him in an alternative school. When high school, they let him travel the world and do homeschooling. He gets in trouble at the Capitol. He calls his parents and they tell him to come home. She also called out a lack of remorse. Judge Chutkin said, quote, one thing struck me in this case. I haven't heard any words of remorse. I haven't seen or heard a single letter about the men or women fighting that day. Officers afraid they would never get home to see their children, other people who were injured, employees of our government sitting inside the building trying to do their job the taxpayers pay them to do, terrified that they were going to die or be killed, not going to see their family, listening to the sounds of glass breaking, wondering if they were going to make it out alive. I haven't heard a word of what it must have been like for the rest of them. Not a single word. I mean, of course not. And these are my words, not the judge's, but of course not. I've talked about this before. The vast majority of these people were there that day because they're self-centered and self-absorbed. Not all, but a lot, most. That's why they were there. That's why they say, oh, the American people have spoken. And, they're only referring to themselves and the people who think like them and agree with them. That's why they say they're taking back their country and their house. They refuse to understand. They can't comprehend that this country doesn't just belong to them and that the house isn't just paid for with their tax dollars. Anyway, back to Ehmke. So as with, I believe, all cases before, Judge Chutkin ended up giving the prosecutor exactly what they requested. She ended up sentencing Ehmke to 4 months in jail and 36 months of probation. And then she also ordered him to pay $2,821 in restitution, which is the replacement costs of the windows that he destroyed. And after she issued her ruling, she told him, quote, I know that this may not be the outcome you hoped for. I know you may be scared and devastated about what awaits you, but let me assure you, you are going to come out of this. You're going to have the rest of your life to continue on the path you're going on. You are young and you have a loving family. You have resources at your disposal. So was this enough? I don't think so. I mean, I'm actually kind of shocked at Judge Chutkin. I believe actually she's gone above what some prosecutors have asked for. He literally made access into the Capitol possible for the mob. And, I get he may have some sort of mental health issue, but it's clear that overindulgence also played a role in why he was there in the first place. I'd really like to know who funded his trip and his hotel stay in DC. So anyway, it sounds like this is going to be the first time in his life that he'll actually face consequences for his actions. So hopefully he's going to be a better person moving forward. We shall see. Anyway, guys, I'll let you know if I hear any more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.